Hmm. Hi and welcome. I'm Oracle Asherah. This is an angel guided energy reading for everyone. Okay. So we're connecting to our ancestors, angels, spirit guides, our higher self for messages to help us in our journey and our ascension. All right, the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. So this is when we decide to step into our inner journey to the self, dealing with our karmas, connecting with the magical part of our world and self. So, in order to do that, to get to truth, we need to clear up our energy, manage our beliefs and belief systems that are in alignment to truth and our greatest good. Initiation can be overwhelming, dark at times, because everything that we've suppressed or ignored resurfaces for our love and healing, forgiveness, attention, in order to free us up. Okay, so when we become free of these energies and influences and wounds, we can now navigate from a more neutral and healed place. Pardon me. The crumbling. So, what are you clinging to? So, this is referring to our wounds, ideas, thoughts, beliefs that are no longer serving us, right? And that could be anywhere from a support system that we've created for ourselves, a belief system we created for ourselves, or even the systems within we've adapted to and taken on as our own. So that could be religion, family beliefs, anything that is of influence. Okay, so when things are crumbling and falling apart, sometimes we are overwhelmed and get depressed. But these are important moments because things need to fall apart for us to rebuild without things that are unnecessary. Okay, so this is an opportunity to shed people, things, beliefs, ideas, anything that's limiting or controlling. Okay. Underneath that, we have warrior woman. So that could be man, warrior person. Have you answered your deepest calling? Okay, so when things are falling apart, our soul wants to be more present in, rather than belief system, ideas, fears, what we've learned. Okay, so what this is asking us is our calling is to honor and be the self. The greatest gift you could give yourself is to be you. So navigating life from your heart brain, instead of overthinking everything, start feeling more. Start feeling. Feeling is going to be part of the attraction to your alignment. Feeling things, allowing your nervous system to work for you, not against you. So when we overthink and ignore our feelings, we're navigating from what we've learned. But our feelings will always go through the body, the nervous system, what we know, what we've learned, and also our alignment, where we want to go, our hopes, our dreams, right? So when we include that, we're navigating from a more complete place. Okay. The Great Gathering is all coming together. Intuitive hits, soul tribe. Okay, so when things are falling apart, obviously other things are coming together. When God closes the door, opens a window somewhere else, like there's always movement and flow. We have to allow things to shed, heal, fall apart for there to be a clearing, clarity, growth, Trusting that everything is perfect is hard because we are always, not always, but sometimes we get caught up in the depression and the sadness of loss instead of the opportunity and what's happening for us. Okay. So believing that everything is perfect is important because that's holding space and allowing things to happen for you, not to you, and for you to embrace them in a more positive light, in a more healing and balanced place. Okay. The never-ending rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. Okay. So when our life crumbles, we have tower moments, we have things that fall apart. This is the opportunity, okay, to forgive, to heal, to see the self, connect with the self, and free the self. So being cracked open is always uncomfortable. It's always hard. And I ask you to be brave and embrace these moments because this is what's going to allow you to become free and navigate. Okay, so unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. So when we free ourselves up from these karmas, these energies, these beliefs, we are free to navigate from our heart, our feelings, what we want in our life, not what we think can't happen, or I haven't seen it, so I don't believe it. You know what? If you believe, if that's what you believe, that's what it is. So allowing yourself to see the magic, be the magic, is going to be really part of this initiation, right? This doorway, this darkness. So in order to experience something different, we have to be different. We have to believe different, think different, experience different. In order to do that is to shift our perspectives. Okay. Okay, psychic development and integration. We don't even need to shuffle this one. Okay. So psychic development is connecting with your heart brain, your higher self, which is the future self of yourself and soul that already knows everything, and navigating from this information rather than the inner child, which is birth to present and everything is learned and carried. Okay. So psychic development is connecting with high self in spirit. So that's you and the great creator, the great architect, the gatekeepers of dimensions, whatever it is that you are giving God the lens of. This is the psychic development connection. Okay. So when you're connecting with your higher self, which is your soul, your wisdom, the unknown, when we have hits of intuition or like, oh, I knew that was going to happen, always in a point of choice, you have these moments of these inner deep thoughts and feelings that quite often we ignore because we think we know better. But if we start navigating in this magical realm of, I don't know why I'm doing this, but it feels right, and then things start being in alignment and you start attracting and manifesting the impossible, then miracles will start being present in your life. And that is responsible with your psychic development of yourself and higher self. Okay, integration. So integrating this into your life is I'm not going to say just important, but necessary, because this is a shift in energy and a shift in time. As long as we continue with how we are, nothing's going to change. So we do have to start believing in the magic of the self and miracles and angels and connecting with these things and allowing their presence to be seen and known and heard. So that's simply by asking for your connection, your awareness. Just awareness is a good place to start. So asking for awareness to see. So that could be just something as simple as seeing numbers repetitive numbers in sequence always. So when things are like, you start making connections with that, then that becomes a language. So say certain numbers mean something to you, and you keep seeing them. And in moments of doubt, in moments of whatever, you happen to look, and there's that reassuring moment that you aren't alone, you are safe, you are protected, you are loved, you are guided. All of a sudden you can be like, I'm not going to hang on to my fear so much. Okay, so learning this language, integrating it into your life, and expanding on that, because it doesn't have to be something as simple as, why do I keep seeing these numbers? It is, how can I expand my mind, my psychic development, my connection with high self and spirit? And that's going to be through prayer, miracles, holding space, your belief. Okay. Okay. Okay, we have anger. So anger is definitely part of the process. So anger and being angry allows things to come up, things for us to reflect upon. So instead of giving reassurance to why you're angry or why you don't like something or someone, hit it from a loving place, a forgiving place, a place for it to be heard and transform. Okay, allowing it to become heard, healed, and freed. Okay, so anger is important. It isn't something we should suppress. Our feelings are important. When we're angry, it's important not to make decisions based on our anger or state of anger, because that makes things permanent and maybe regretted later. So when you are angry, take that time and space, reflect. Within that space, you're going to see and find clarity, allowing yourself to process those feelings is very important, because you're going to see a lot of truth. You're going to work through a lot of things. It's an opportunity. Okay. Okay. Okay, inspiration. I always like to encourage you to be inspired, not influenced. So this is something you need to ask within your awareness. What is inspiring you and what's influencing you? Okay, so what part of our world that we're daily absorbing is influencing? And what's inspiring you to think independently, feel, experience in this world? So if you're being influenced and constantly in a state of fear, depression, shutdown, sabotage, isolation, these are things that are influencing your experience, influencing your beliefs, influencing your perspective. Inspiration is things and ideas that fire you up to have an experience, to create. So this is asking you to be in awareness of your surroundings, your world, your choices, and what you're absorbing. So what you're listening to, what you're believing, what you're creating attachments to. Okay. Okay. All right, so we have commitment. So when we make decisions and they're influencing from a belief, that is from a committed place. You're committed to your belief. So when you believe it, that is it, right? So if you believe you can't be healed, if you believe you can't do better, if you believe you're not going to find love, you are right. Okay, so you have to be really aware of what we're committing in our beliefs, because everyone has the opportunity to attract, manifest, heal, grow, Love is within the self. It is our birthright. It is our purpose. So as long as we are shut down and we're all I'm going to hurt you before you hurt me mode, no one's going to do better or find better. So we have to start with the self, hold space for the self, make the self sacred, expect better from the self, and therefore we're going to do that also. We're not going to be so inviting to abuse and traumatic experiences when we're taking that responsibility for ourselves. Because when we know we are capable of these things, we're going to hold higher expectations of everyone around us. So that doesn't mean finger wagging and hating and judging. It just means you're not going to invite so close to yourself something that's going to cause you harm towards your expansion, your growth, your experience. Okay. Okay, confidence. Confidence comes from experiencing and knowing. Okay, no, when this happens for you, no one can take that away from you. So when you start practicing the art of miracles and you start praying and experiencing your higher self, your connection to God, in this connection, no one can take that away from you. No one can say that doesn't exist. No one can say that can't happen for you. No one can say I can do that for better than you can do it for yourself. Okay, so confidence comes with in allowing yourself to experience something, know something, believe something, and become something. So allowing that perspective to shift within all these choices that we're talking about is very important for you to integrate this information in order for you to have your expansion, your ascension, your healing, your growth, your freedom. Okay. Hi, Fred. Okay. We have disruption. So again, when we're caught up in our fears, our depression, our beliefs that have us judging ourselves, hating ourselves, isolating ourselves, breaking ourselves, sabotaging the self, those all become your ladder out. Okay, so I would recommend journaling, paying attention to these triggers, these things, because these are all going to explain things that need to be detached. You need to detach from these things that are influencing you and shaping your daily experience. Okay, so when you start becoming aware of these triggers, things that are causing you harm, disbelief, detachment in isolating and sabotaging ways. Like isolation is good if it's chosen and it's to do work, but if it's isolation because you are fearful, hateful, or causing more harm, right? You need to pay attention to this. So it doesn't matter what you're choosing, but what energy you're choosing it in. So if it is in harm, you need to take some awareness in this. Okay, so these triggers, these pains, these sufferings, these are all opportunities for you to discover, heal, and free yourself from. Okay. Triumph and success is a choice. Okay, so I pray for you to choose you. Say that to yourself. I choose me. Okay, so that doesn't mean being selfish. It might feel like you're being selfish because you've been in this belief system that you don't get to put yourself first, but it's important you put yourself first and heal yourself, because you can't offer love, a healthy relationship, without this being healed and whole. We're all whole, but we got a lot of holes sometimes. So we need to look at these holes, heal them, so we can now be of sound and loving and not affected, right? So when we're not affected by things, we are then able to hold space for other people to heal and find space for themselves. Balance. Okay, so finding that balance within yourself is going to reflect upon others. You're going to either attract people closer to you, or you're going to have changed so much that people don't know how to approach you, or they're not going to know how to manipulate you like they used to be able to, because you've healed those things, right? So like if you have things that you feel guilty about or shame about or judging yourself about, those can be manipulation tools to people who are aware of those things or have been victim to those things, right? So forgiveness, asking others to forgive you. If you are doing the work and they keep poking those holes, then you just need to have better boundaries. Love them, but don't necessarily have them so close to you in your healing journey, right? So that's where isolation is a choice and has a purpose. And then when you have those situations and feelings healed, you don't have attachments to these stories anymore. They start to try to poke at you and they can't. That's going to affect them, their reflection of themselves, and it's going to change the nature of your relationships. So you do have to be prepared for changes in people, changes in who you're attracting and around. Okay, so sometimes that's sad, sometimes it's lonely, right? Because there's always periods of the heart is hungry, okay, or you have temptation to return to how things were, but you can't, because you've now changed, and because you've changed, these relationships can't continue the way they have. So they're either going to shape up or ship out, and you have to be okay with that. You have to hold space for that. Okay, we have awareness. So within your awareness, you are holding space. Okay, so without it, we're ignorant. We're allowing things to happen. We're just experiencing what we're allowing. But when we have awareness and we're responsible for choice, this changes, this responsibility changes, our experience changes, and that can be kind of stressful, overwhelming, and feel like crumbling, towering, and painful, dark. But we have to embrace these things in order to get to the light, get to the end of that tunnel. Okay, so I mean, we can stay in that darkness as long as we like. We can bury ourselves there. We can keep reassuring it as long as we can, or as long as you want. You can reinvite all that stuff back in as much as you want, but you're tripping. Okay, so love, forgiveness, freedom. Okay, and that takes your awareness, your consciousness, choice of raising your vibration, asking yourself to raise your frequency, to raise your consciousness, to be in awareness and present. These things you're asking yourself is really going to help you get through these dark moments, get you through this initiation through your darkness, your shadow work. Okay, because no one can do this for you. You can go to healers, Reiki healers, energy healers as often as you want, but as long as you're reinviting these stories, these feelings, these sabotages, these loops, you're just a repeat business. Okay, so a true healer is going to help you reflect, restore, and take responsibility for yourself. Okay, so with your awareness is your growth. Okay, fulfillment of wishes. So fulfillment of wishes is like miracles. Okay, so when we're in our awareness, we are connecting with our higher self and spirit. We're praying. We're doing the dirty work. We're clearing our energy, clearing our karmas, addressing our garbage. we're praying, holding space for our wishes. In that holding space, we're allowing things to happen and change for our alignment. Okay, so sometimes we like to force things, we like to drive things, we like to sew things. So like, that looks like it's correct, I want that. So we try to like make things work where that wasn't necessarily the case. If it is for you, it will stay. If they're for you, they will stay. It doesn't need to be forced. You don't have to have attachments through any kind of attachment. You don't have to have destination attachment. You don't have to make all these things, right? Just allow each moment to be present and these things to ebb and flow, right? So sometimes we make attachments to things that are permanent because we think we want them. Okay. I have an inner belief that if it ain't right, I don't want it. Okay. So that is my core belief. So in my life, I think I want things. I'm creating attachments I'm living with, but they're not working. But I'm hanging on. But they're not working. Because why? My core belief is if it ain't right, I don't want it. So I'm now ignoring my core belief and I'm trying to make something work because I want it. But as soon as you start listening, because you're getting sick, because you're causing harm, there's discomfort, there's depression in the situation that you think is supposed to be so perfect, then when you start to honor the self in that core belief, and you take responsibility and you free yourself up those attachments, then your alignment's going to start shifting again. You're going to get more in alignment to where you should be going. And then your work is going to always continue because we're constantly healing, but you're in an alignment. Okay? So that takes your awareness. Fulfillment of wishes is prayer, wait, receive. So in that waiting period, be careful not to sew and force things. Allow things to ebb and flow, come, and things will play out to be permanent if they are supposed to be. Okay, so that's trusting everything is perfect, whether you like it or not. Okay. Too many messages here. Okay. First card was inspiration, right? So again, paying attention to what's inspiring you, not influencing you, right? So that's being conscious and aware of energies. What's their purpose? What's their intention? Okay. So when you start becoming more aware of people's energy, their intentions, your perspective is going to shift. How you're going to navigate is going to shift, and you're going to be more in alignment with through your choices because of your awareness. Okay. Creativity is your gift. We are beings of creation and destruction. Both have valuable purpose. Okay. This card is creativity. So imagination, expression, originality, and passion. Okay. So connecting with yourself. What are you creating through your choices, your actions, right? Be inspired. Be inspired and responsible for what you're creating and doing. Okay. All right, we have forgiveness. Forgiveness is going to be so helpful for you when you're looking at all this shadow work, all these triggers of yourself. When you have compassion and forgiveness of yourself, you're freeing the story. You're feeling freeing how the story affects you and how this allows others to affect you. And when you have compassion for yourself, you're going to have compassion for others. So like without boundaries, compassion can be a self-assault. Okay, so have compassion, but with boundaries. Okay, it doesn't mean you have to take on everything. You don't have to take on everyone's energy, everyone's story. You're only responsible for yourself and your experience. Okay, you can offer love, but you don't have to be sacrificing. You don't have to be sabotaging. Okay, so letting go of attachments, control is important, right? We like to control, we like to drive, but feelings, that's a cage. Okay, so allowing the feelings to expand, allowing the feelings to be real, having that feelings to be an active part of the process, right? Because quite often we get caught up in the overthinking and the beliefs that we're ignoring the feelings, and the feelings is the navigation of your soul, which is connected to the spirit and your higher self. Okay, so this is a very important part of the loop. Forgiveness is going to be how you free yourself up from trauma, shame, guilt. Okay, repeat as often as needed until it loosens its hold, right? So I forgave myself. I have to forgive myself every day. Okay, continue to do so, because as you do it, you'll start to believe it. You'll start to feel it. You'll start to be it. Okay, so quite often it seems like a lot of work and it's overwhelming, but it is the key to self-love, love, and your expansion. Okay, we have self-expression. So this is vocalization, individuality, your inner voice, assertiveness. Okay, so speak your truth, be your truth, and be who you need yourself to be, right? So if you're like, I don't like this conversation, I'm not continuing it, I don't want to gossip, this is harmful to myself or whoever it is that's around, taking that assertiveness and having control this way, right? Controlling what you're experiencing, controlling what you're intaking, and partaking in. Okay, so this is going to help your energy, your spirit, your truth. Okay, we don't need to be involved in other people's garbage. Quite often they like to gossip or have this exchange, attach you into it, have your contribution into it, so now your energy's in it. Okay, and this is going to affect you, right? So you can take that to whatever scale you like, but you need to be assertive and protective of what you're involving yourself in. Speak and be your truth, hold space for yourself and your beliefs, and have that brave warrior spirit of picking and choosing your moments, picking and choosing your battles. Okay, personal boundaries. Right, so being that inner warrior and holding space, being present in your choices. Again, this is assertiveness, empowerment, authenticity, my language. Right, so being authentic in yourself, being responsible for yourself and your experience, and being brave in your boundaries. Be like, I'm not having this conversation. I'm not talking about this right now. Or if you want to spend time with me, it's not going to be like this. Okay. Love me or leave me alone is a great boundary. Okay. And if they are not being loving towards you, you have to ask yourself, why am I choosing to hurt myself? Okay. Why am I choosing to be involved in this relationship or this situation? Why am I choosing to do this to myself? Okay. And make better choices. Okay. All right. If you want something you never had, you have to do something you've never done. Okay. So if you are stuck in your beliefs, your ideas, your ruts, your traumas, you're not going to experience something different. You're not going to experience the miracles and magic that is you, which is in your birthright and everyone's potential. Okay, so I know people associate prayer with religion, but no religions own you, your connection to spirit, your connection to your magic, Okay, so if religion or your beliefs are limiting your experience to love yourself, and have miracles in your life, you need to reflect upon that, because you need to think different. You need to shift in your perspective to experience something different. Okay. Justice. Okay, so sometimes we want to experience justice in order to experience forgiveness. Okay, so this isn't the case. Justice is not your responsibility or for you to take on. Okay, that is their karma. A lot of people like to be distributors of karma. Okay, that isn't without consequence either. Okay, so you have to be aware of what you are choosing for yourself and doing to yourself. So surrendering that non-attachment, that's not your business or responsibility, creating boundaries is going to free that energy up. But as long as you are pining for justice in some sense, you're going to have attachment to that situation, person, or story, and you're not going to have freedom. Okay, so all right, so justice is not your business, but karma's business. So surrendering that attachment is important in allowing the heavens to do the work. So don't get in the way of your blessings thinking you need to have justice in order to have the freedom you deserve. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, luck happens when preparation meets opportunity. Right. So when we start doing the work, start clearing stuff up, getting in alignment and doing the work, then we have base, roots, and groundwork where luck or opportunity can flourish. Okay. God helps those who help themselves. Inspiration comes, but it has to find you working. Okay, these are all statements of get moving, get clearing, get in alignment, and doing the work. Because when we start holding space for our dreams, our visions, and we're in that path, you can't help but run into it. Okay, so that comes within the boundaries and your choices and what you're choosing. Okay, all right. Okay. I choose. I choose to live by choice, not chance. To be motivated, not manipulated. To be useful, not used. To make changes, not excuses. To excel, not compete. I choose self-esteem, not self-pity. I choose to listen to my inner voice, not random opinions of others. I like that. Okay, we're going to close with an angel card. Okay, we have integrity. Align your actions so they match your values and inner knowings of what's right for you. Okay, friends and family, I wish you all a great week or whenever we connect next. All right, blessings.